Back to fan-made content, free fan-made role-playing game stuff. For those of you who were waiting for Super Mario Brothers, it is finally here. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. I'm also going to be doing a presentation today, and I will be showing you the document and talking about it. Good morning, Nacho Man. So, grab some food, some drink, make sure you are comfortable, and I will go into this in as much detail as I think is necessary. I want to make it clear that when I do any kind of stuff around free fan-made stuff, it's not really a review. It is more of a letting you know what is there, okay? I don't really want to criticize somebody who's made something that actually they didn't sell because they couldn't. So that's the first thing I would like to point out is these aren't necessarily reviews as such. Okay, that being done, let's get started. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. And as it happens, the topic for today is the free fan-made Super Mario 5e supplement that is available for you. It is out there. It exists. You can use it. If you want to play in a mushroom world with Super Mario Brothers, you can, okay? Mario and his brother are available to you, and some of the resources required for it. So let's go over the nuts and bolts of this document. So first off, there's only one free fan-made Super Mario 5e compatible document available that uses the Dungeons & Dragons 5e rules. I couldn't find anything else. That was just one. This is created, or Thomas Ken at Kobold Keep is the only person credited as a contributor or a creator for the supplement. So nobody else, as far as I can tell, is involved in that process. It's only Thomas. The person who actually created the document is not Thomas. And they have reached out to try to contact Thomas. Thomas has never responded, so they've created this document. I don't know who that person is. It's not clear. The book is a semi-professional supplement. It has mixed design results. It has a few blank pages and some layout issues that are sort of the main problem. I think everything else is not too bad. This is probably because it is an unfinished document, but I'll talk about that more. There are 57 pages in the PDF. The artwork and illustrations are sometimes of a high quality, and then you've got some mixed in hand-drawn character images as well. So yeah, there is high quality, and then there is a few things obviously that have been hand-drawn because they haven't had the ability to draw them with digital tools or something like that. There's very little artwork in the book, possibly because they just didn't have anything that they could port over from another source into the document, or they simply could not afford to pay somebody to create art for it. So I can kind of understand that, particularly if they're only drawing off what is actually available on the internet. There are no maps provided in the supplement. There is no contents page. So if you were looking for a table of contents or an index, unfortunately there isn't any. And it does need it, but it doesn't have it. There are new races created for the Super Mario world are the following. So your race choices are Beanfolk, the Bob-O-Bombs, Booze, which is like a ghost, Goomba, Human, Koopa, Mushroom Folk. Then we've got Nebulous Folk, which I think are like cloud people or something like that. Pintana, I don't know what that is. Punny, and then Shy Folk and Yoshi. So there's a few different choices related to that setting. We have a range of creative classes or archetypes for the classes provided that have been designed. We have Path of the Basher. We have College of Royalty. This one is a mouthful. There are Anthropy Domain. So I don't know what that's actually supposed to mean, but anyway, it's there. We have the Circle of the Natural Warrior. We have Circle of the Nature Mage. Circle of the Raccoon. Yes, Circle of the Raccoon. Soldier, Athlete, Knight, Brawler, Elemental Hand, Bandit, Blood Mage, oh god, here we go. Here's another one. Caricaturist. I think it's caricaturist. Whew. Star Spirit, Mage, and Magikoopa. I don't know what that's all supposed to relate to. I don't really play Super Mario Brothers. There are completely new classes as well that have been offered. There is the Spellblade and the Mana Bandit, or Mana Bandit. We have 6 new Eldritch Evocations. These are actually quite strong. We have Shining Blast, the Starblade, Star Companion, Star's Lore, Star's Sight, and Sweet Tooth. Now, I'm assuming that this is based off the fact that the star is the big power-up that you want in the video game. So they've kind of tried to put it in here. There are some well-developed but very odd selection of mundane items, weapons, and armor provided for it. So it's actually quite well developed. It's just they are very odd. They are very Mario Brothers, okay? There are 38 new feats that are widely varying, and some of them are simple, some of them have very standard mechanical benefits, but they all have a lot of prerequisites. They're very, very much controlled in terms of when you can get them and how you can get them. There are 10 new spells for the Super Mario world, and this includes the Fire Flower, the Frog Suit, I don't understand this, but the Frog Suit, the Hammer Suit, I kind of understand this one, the Ice Flower, Juggum's Cloud, Kubo's Shoe, Penguin Suit, Raccoon Leaf, Starman, and Tanuka Suit. The Tanuka Suit? Tanuki Suit. Maybe it's the Tanuki Suit. The creatures there's a small selection of creatures at the back, okay, with very simple stat blocks, nothing particularly fantastic, nothing that sort of stands out, but you do get the Boo, the Dark Boo, the Cheep Cheep, the Goomba, the Gloomba, and the Hyper Goomba. It's clearly stated in the document that this document is still in progress, which is why it does look a little bit unfinished and why it sort of has a few holes, probably because it doesn't. This is why it doesn't probably have an index or a contents page. It's probably why it doesn't have all of its artwork there yet. So the supplement's actually all right, considering it's a compilation of somebody else's work that they've put onto an internet forum or platform, in my opinion, since it is an incomplete document. But it still looks semi-professional, and I'm going to show it to you by all means, not a problem. But if you want access to this, there is a link down in the description that will get you to that particular PDF that you can download for free. Now, I'm hoping this was useful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon. I want to thank Thomas Keen for doing all the work around this. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm back. This is where we do some chat. I'm going to pull up the document and sort of talk about it and walk our way through this thing before I have to go off. Today is a Morkbork day. I am playing Morkbork, or is it Merkbork, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't know what it is. What is it called? I don't know. So this death metal, doom metal game, we're going to all die very shortly playing this on Wally DM's channel in about 2 hours. So let's get back onto Mario Brothers. So Nacho Man is a patron. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Fred. I'm off work, sick. Oh no, today. So I thought I'd just join in the live stream. Well, you're welcome to be here. The good news is, since you are sick today, Nacho Man, we made sure that we were live streaming a game in Morkbork with myself and some maybe of your other favorite YouTubers. I don't know. We'll be playing through a game, waiting for somebody to do something stupid, and die. Okay? There's a lot of us with 1 hit point, so it's very likely. How's it going, Shiner81? How are you? I just noticed that Tandoori campaign setting reborn got added to the D&D Beyond. Is this the first third-party book to be added? I don't know. I liked Donkey Kong. Does that count? Doesn't bother me. If you like Donkey Kong, you like Donkey Kong. That's all cool. I dropped way too many quarters into the Donkey Kong. Well, I think a lot of people didn't they? All right, let's get into actually showing you this document. And I probably, now that I think about it, I should probably have my phone ready to go. And I don't have my phone ready to go. Well, that's really smart, isn't it? So let's pull this up so you can see what I've been looking at and talking about. And I'll grab my phone and we'll go through it. Bit by bit. I have a limited amount of time to do this. So I certainly will have to cut it short if I take too long going over stuff. This is the document here. And I would expand it more, but I'll wait before I do that. Anyway, where's my phone? I'm trying to remember why I didn't have the phone ready in the first place. And I think it was because I wanted to have plenty of battery life left for the following live stream. But then this isn't going to work. If I'm trying to show you something, I kind of have to show you, don't I? So let's just pull this up. Okay, I can see DC comic fans. Hello, how are you? So weird seeing the How to RPG instead of How to D&D. It is. It's like you're in a different dimensional world. Like the multiverse is spread into the real world. Isn't it? It's really strange. I tell you now, I never thought this channel would be called How to RPG. I had no intention of ever doing that. I never even expected it, and it happened. There's a good chance I might not, in fact, be the real Fred. Maybe I'm just a copy of him. Anyway, let's go through this document. So, as you can see, a little bit of artwork in the front. Pretty simple, but still trying to follow sort of your traditional sort of format for any kind of these homemade or homebrew fan-made supplements. Bit of artwork from that they've found, and then we get into bean folk. Now, bean folk, there's actually 3 bean folk, and the picture tells you everything. A bean person flying around on a bean with wings. Kind of. Fred just moved up to other formats. Yeah. I just moved on to different. Yeah. Well, so now we do every single version of Dungeons and Dragons, just about, and then anything that's a retro clone, and then anything else that I can find out how to work out how to use, plus a few things I've played in the past. Yes, that means Fate is coming, people. Fate, I understand. One of the patrons is sending me some Fate dice and the Fate core book, which means I'll be covering that as well. Okay, anyway, bean folk, let's have a look. So, constitution score increases by 2. Your average is sort of, they live to about 80 to 90, and an adult is considered 15. Okay, there we go. Not worrying about alignment. Bean folk constitution. Now, I might just expand this. This is going to be really too small for you to read. So if I expand this, it's probably going to be smarter. I can probably expand it again. If my head gets in the way, we'll know, hopefully, and we can just move my head out of the way. Okay, that's better. That's more like it. Now you might actually be able to see what I'm talking about. Yep. All right. So we have dark vision, beanfolk constitution. You are immune to poison, paralysis, polymorph, and stunning conditions. Holy Toledo. Doesn't everybody want to be a beanfolk? But effects that normally target or affect plants affect you as well. Okay, so you're affected by plant magic, I guess. What a shame. Your size is medium. Right, so 5 to 7 foot tall. All right, so there's a bit of variation there. 30 feet of speed, well, that's kind of standard. Languages, you read and write Common and Beanish. So there's obviously a language called Bean. Your subclasses. There are 4 main subclasses for the Bean. These are Beanish, Woo, chuckle, and hoo hooligan. Hoo hooligan? Hoo hooligan. I think it's hoo hooligan. Okay. Beanish. So with Beanish, you get a +1 to your wisdom, and you get bean sense. In addition to, you get to add double your perception bonus to checks to sense those who are hiding or invisible within 30 feet. It's a pretty strong feature. And that's right out the bat. Wow, okay. I don't think there was a lot of playtesting taking place. Woo. So you get a +1 to your intelligence, and then your magical training, you learn 1 cantrip from the Bard spell list. Okay. Intelligence, your spellcasting ability, and any effect that may induce fear causes laughter instead. Oh, okay, so you make things laugh. Interesting. That's kind of cute, actually. Chuckle. So you get +1 to your dex. And then, what is this? Light-footed. You're immune to the entangling effects and cannot be magically slowed. Okay. So how is that? It's not who, it's how Hulligan. How Hulligan? I think that's how Hulligan. Anyway, another bean sub-race. So you get a +1 to your strength. Bean-like brutality. Whenever you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you can roll one of the weapon dice, damage dice, one additional time, and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That'll be fun. Extra language. A lot of these features are duplicated in other races. Not all of them, but some of them certainly sound like they are. Extra language. You have... Oh, good Lord. Whatever that is. Some sort of... Gallifrey? Is that a real word? Anyway, moving on. Let's have a look at another one. The Bob O Bomb made me laugh. When I saw the Bob O Bomb, I was like, seriously? You can actually play this thing? So, Constitution increases by 2, Strength increases by 1. Your adulthood starts at 12, and you live to about 100 or 120. Okay, you look like a bomb that's been wound up. Let's not worry about the alignment. Bobo Bomb Slam. Your body is tougher than most. It can be used as a natural weapon, dealing bludgeoning damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier. Okay, so you do quite a bit of damage. This counts as an unarmed strike. Fair enough. Again, we have dark vision. Of course, all races seem to have dark vision nowadays. If you didn't have dark vision on your race, it almost feels like you've done something wrong. Anyway, moving along. Explosive temper. Bobo bombs are known for having a short fuse. Fuse is not wet. It's a spelling error. Okay, if your fuse is not wet, you may use an action to expend a spell slot and light it. At the beginning of your next turn, you explode, forcing all creatures within 30 feet of you to make a dexterity saving throw. A target takes 1d6 fire damage for a first level slot plus 6 for each spell level higher than 1. Oh god, it's not written very well. Okay, the target takes 1d6 fire damage for a first level slot plus 1d6 for each spell level higher than 1. Okay, I think I get it now. To a maximum of 5. The target takes full damage on a failed save. Okay, or half as much damage on a successful save. If you are struck by a weapon attack or an attack that deals fire damage while your fuse is lit, you explode immediately and cannot use your reaction until the start of your next turn. If you have no spell slots, you gain one level one spell slot that recharges on a long rest. Okay, all right. There's a lot of wording in here that's a little bit hard to get around, but okay. Let's keep going. You're a small size. You have a 25-foot speed. Your languages are common and Bob O Bomb, of course it would be. Unhanded combat. Unhanded? You have no hands, but that doesn't mean you're unarmed. Okay. You learn the mage hand cantrip. Okay, of course you do. You may use it to wield a shield, but only within 5 feet of you. Using your mage hand, you may replace your winding key with one-handed melee weapon. Okay, alright. Changing the type and the amount of damage dealt by the Bobo Bomb Slam attack to match the new weapon. This process takes 2 minutes. Okay, so there's a bit of a wind up. Jeez, here we go. You may use the mage hand to sheath or unsheath the weapon without dropping your shield, as if you had a extra hand. Okay, so they're basically giving you a way of having hands when you don't have hands, since Bobo Bombs don't have hands. Anyway, let's go. This is the boo. Now, I need a drink of water before I do this. So the boo has been hand-drawn. They obviously could not find an image to place in here, so we have a hand-drawn image. It's not too bad. Anyway, so your dexterity score increases by 2, your charisma goes up by 1, your age, you start adulthood at between 15 and 50, and you stop aging at 100. So, okay, so I guess the thing is, you don't die of old age if you're a boo, because you're a ghost. Okay. Forget about alignment. We'll move past that. Ghostly flight. While you don't have an actual flying speed, you are still subject to gravity's effect. Okay. You don't touch the ground, but rather float 1 or 2 feet above it. You take no damage from falling and are unaffected by non-magical difficult terrain. You also cannot be tripped or set off traps that rely on being stepped on. Okay. So they've actually thought about this quite a bit. It makes it quite a strong thing to play. Invisibility. You may cast Invisibility, Misty Step, and Pass Without a Trace on yourself once per day at their lowest level. Okay, alright, so you get to cast those 3 spells once per day. Charisma is your spell casting ability for these spells. Boos stand about 5 feet, so they're small size. Okay. Walking speed, or should we say floating speed? It should be floating speed. Base walking speed, or base floating speed, 25 feet. Languages, common and booish. The language of the ghost. Half undead nature. You have the undead creature type in addition to the humanoid type. Okay, alright, so you've got both of them. You can be affected by effects that target either. Okay, alright. You do not need to eat or drink to survive, but you still taste and enjoy food. Okay, you have no blood and thus are immune to effects that would wound or cause bleed effects. Okay, though the initial damage is not reduced, and if reduced to 0 hit points, you stabilize automatically. So how do you die as a boo? You don't, because boos don't die, right? Effects that would normally not restore HP to undead creatures or only restore HP to undead and constructs only restore half the amount, rounded down. Okay, you are also immune to poison damage, the poison condition, and diseases. Well, kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That is the boo. If you're going to run these things, I think you're going to have to accept that you are not dealing with something that is not going to have some huge spanners thrown into the works here. You don't think this is an RPG, so you'll play? Okay. All right. Okay. Goomba. The Goomba. Here we have a nice hand-drawn picture of the Goomba. Very goofy. So your strength score goes up by 2, wisdom by 1. Mushroom folk mature. So this is a Goomba is a mushroom person. Okay, now I understand. So you're adult at about 20, and you live to about 100 years. Bite. Your fanged maw is a natural weapon, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with it, you deal piercing damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier. Okay, so it's... I feel like the monk is getting kind of shat on a little bit here, but hey, fan-made, homemade, free. instead of bludgeoning damage for a normal unarmed strike. Okay, piercing damage. Dark vision again, because everything seems to have dark vision. Shroom lore. Now, what is Shroom lore all about? Whenever you make an intelligence, nature check, or wisdom survival check related to the identity or properties of mushrooms, oh good lord, you are considered proficient in the nature or survival skill, and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. Wow, you're an expert in mushrooms. This is a feature that you should have on a Goomba. I don't think this is going to be overpowered, people. I think we're going to be fine. It's very situational. Shroom resistance. You have advantage on saving throws against poison. You also have a +1 bonus to all saving throws. That's very strong. Wow. Okay. This is just a race feature. Size. You are small and you have a speed of 25 feet. Because what mushroom walks fast? Okay, next. Languages, common and shroomish. There's too many jokes to be made about this. Okay. Unhanded combat, because they don't have hands. Essentially, it looks like it's almost exactly the same sort of setup as the Bob O'Bomb. You have no hands, but that doesn't mean you're unarmed. You learn the Mage Hand cantrip with a maximum range of 5 feet. You may use it to summon 2 invisible hands that you can both wield a weapon shield. A weapon shield, but only within 5 feet of you. Okay, this is confusing. You cannot gain extra attacks beyond your normal 1 unarmed attack this way. You also gain proficiency with the Goomba Skull Cap, and the Goomba Spike Cap counts as a martial weapon for you. Okay, so what am I missing? Is it a cap that you put on that has spikes and you headbutt stuff? Is that what we're doing here? I think that is. Byron Lee, hello, how are you? The Mario Brothers and D&D, yes, sounds like a little strange, but I'd give it a shot. Look, let's get real. It's super, super crazy nuts and silly. And if he wanted fantastical, I don't think it gets more fantastical than Super Mario Brothers. So yeah, let's just keep going. Let's go with this. Humans, just refer to the player's handbook. Okay, moving on. There you go. That's how much they had to indicate to you. We'll move on to the next one. This is a Koopa, which is basically a turtle person. That's right. The indigenous race of the Mushroom Kingdom, the Koopa, mushroom people, turtle people, sorry. So your constitution increases by 2, your strength by 1, you're adult at 40, and you don't know how, it could be, who knows how long you live. You could be very old. Okay. Shell. All Koopas have a soft shell. Soft shells. Really? Do they? Choose your color from the Koopa ancestry table. Oh my gosh. Your base AC is 13 and you cannot benefit from wearing any armor. Oh my gosh. Your shell provides resistance to the element chosen by your Koopa ancestry. Causes any critical hit to become a normal hit. Oh my gosh. So long as they are not benefiting from another AC calculation, such as unarmored defense. So you can't wear armor, but you could have unarmored defense. So you really, if you're going to go unarmored, you want to go Koopa Barbarian, Koopa Monk, and be at a certain level. All right, so you're medium size, you have a speed of 25 feet, and your speed is not reduced by carrying heavy loads. Okay, well, who would have guessed? Tuck. We're going to go over Tuck in a second. So you have a few things. Damage types. All right, there's our little ancestry, Koopa ancestry table there. Let's look at what do we got here in the chat here? Okay, DC Comics. Would it be out of place to replace bows or beholders and make Peach naked? I'm not going to answer that question. It's not my game. You deal with that. Okay, Common and Coopish are your languages, but tuck. You may use your movement to tuck your head and limbs into your shell, like a turtle, obviously. While tucked, you are prone and have a +5 bonus to your armor class. Oh, while tucked, you cannot take any actions except for use your bonus action to come out using half your movement to stand up as normal. Okay, so that's a bit of a pain. If struck by an attack that deals bludgeoning damage, while tucked, you may use your reaction to reduce the damage to 0 and move away from the enemy in a straight line up to 90 feet. Oh my gosh. Bouncing off of walls. If you hit a creature, they must make a dexterity saving throw with a DC of 15. What's that? -1 for every 10 feet traveled before you hit. If the target fails, they take 1d4 bludgeoning damage for 10 feet traveled like this. Oh, right. Okay, I see. And your movement is stopped. If they succeed, they take no damage and you keep moving until you hit an enemy who fails their saving throw or you travel the full 90 feet. Once you stop moving, make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you fail, you are stunned until the end of your next turn. Holy Toledo. That is some complicated stuff there. I mean, wow. Shucks. Let's have a look at Mushroom Folk. I don't know what to say about the Koopa. Some very complicated mechanics here. Okay, Mushroom Folk. Now, so we've got a nice little picture of a mushroom person. Okay, so we get to increase our strength by 2 and dexterity by 1. We are adult at 20 and average age is going to live to about 100. Okay. Mushrooms potential. You gain proficiency in 1 skill. If you use the skill on any check having to do with mushrooms, you may double your proficiency bonus for this check. Well, that's good to know. We've got Shroom Law, which I'm assuming is identical to the one I just read out for the other mushroom individual. So, yeah, we'll skip past that. Shroom Resistance, yeah, that's the same. Basically, advantage on saving throws against poison, and you have a +1 bonus on all saving throws, which is pretty good. Your size is small, base speed is 25 feet, your language is Common and Shroom. It's a pretty sort of average. I mean, this is a lot tamer than some of the other stuff we've seen. Anyway, Nebulous Folk. This is a cloud person, I'm assuming. It looks like a cloud. Anyway, increase your dexterity by 2, constitution by 1, age at adult is 20, live to about 90 years. Airy body. Life among the clouds can be difficult, but has its benefits too. You have resistance to cold and lightning damage. Well, there's nothing small about that fact. That's pretty good. Cold and lightning. Lightning doesn't come up that much, but cold would potentially. Still very situational. Okay, Airy Mind. You know the Gust cantrip. Really? The Gust cantrip. Starting at 3rd level, you may cast Featherfall on yourself once per day at its lowest level. Starting at level 5, you may also cast Control Winds once per day with a range of 30 feet, a maximum size of 60 feet, and it's centered on you. Charisma is your spell casting ability for these spells. Okay, good to know. So, yeah, maybe a warlock or a sorcerer would work, or something else. I don't know. It depends what you want to do, I guess. Emotional weather. Are you kidding me? No, you're not. Of course you're not. This is Super Mario Brothers. The weather is usually sympathetic to you. When you cry, a small rain cloud, a small rainstorm appears in a 30-foot radius around you. Is that a 30-foot radius? I'm pretty sure it's 30 foot. If it is already raining when you get angry, thunder and lightning appear, punctuating your attacks. What? You can take advantage of these, causing a bolt. It should be a bolt of lightning to hit your target, adding lightning damage equal to your level or twice that amount of lightning damage if the target is a construct or wearing metal armor. Okay, you can add this to one damage roll and must take a long rest before you lash out in this way again. Okay, so there's a lot of errors in terms of spelling. Certainly, I think this was put together very quickly. Small size, 25 feet, common and nebulous are your languages. That is the nebulous folk. Okay. All right, this one, I don't know what this is supposed to be, really. We don't have a picture, so I don't really know what they are. If you've played the game and you remember, maybe that'll be the thing for you. It's a pear-shaped with mitten-like hands, flexible arms. Okay, so Constitution goes up by 2, Strength by 2. Okay, so this is quite a lot stronger, this one, than the others. You are adult at 50 and live to about 200. Okay. Mountains Constitution, you have advantage on ability checks and saving throws made to climb or avoid falling. You also suffer no harm in temperatures as warm as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure how that's going to come up, but anyway, you are large size. This is a large size player character. Okay, you have a speed of 30 feet. Okay, sure. Throw ally. So now you can throw things around. All right, so what do we got here? As an action, you may throw a willing ally within your reach who is at least one size category smaller than yourself. So you need to be throwing a medium size or small character. This attack counts as an improvised weapon with a range of 10. 10 is your normal range and 20 is long range. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage. If the ally was small, or so 2d6 if the ally was small, and 2d8 bludgeoning damage if the ally was medium. Size. If the ally was wearing magical armor or armor made of a specific material, the attack counts as such for the purposes of overcoming resistance. Oh, I see. Okay, now I see what they're trying to do here. It's not just bludgeoning. You could potentially... All right, fine. If the attack hits, the ally takes no damage and falls prone to a space that they choose within 10 feet of the target. If the attack misses, the ally takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and falls prone to a random chosen space adjacent to the target. You can throw bulky, medium, or small objects such as a barrel with this ability, dealing 1d8 or 1d6 damage respectively. You cannot throw anything that is already a weapon supposed to be in this way. Okay. And you have Common and Pita as your languages. Sheesh. Okay, so you have a character that can throw other characters around or objects. Punny. Punnies. It's a tree dweller. We don't have a picture of our punny. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do very much with that. But let's have a look at what we've got here. Your dexterity and constitution scores increase by 2, and your strength reduces by 2. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Okay. This cannot put your starting score strength score below 1. So your starting score for your strength can't be below 1. All right. So that's just to stop reductions causing problems. I mean, I don't think it's going to come up that often, but anyway. You are adult at 5, and 50 years is about how long you live. Dark vision, again, because like everything seems to have dark vision nowadays. Apparently here it is. Reduced size. Due to your tiny size, so you are tiny. You're a tiny character with 30 feet and tiny. Okay. Due to your tiny size, you have disadvantage on all strength checks and strength saving throws. Your weapons must be sized to match, causing them to deal 1d4 less damage than normal. Oh my gosh. Though this cannot reduce the damage below 1. You also gain advantage on any checks made to hide in natural undergrowth. If the enlarge reduce spell is cast on you, the enlarge effect cancels this effect, increasing your size to large. Okay. Your weapons grow with you, removing the penalty to damage and causing them to deal double a number of damage dice as a weapon of normal size. You also have immunity to the reduce effect of the enlarge reduce spell. So you can only be enlarged, you cannot be reduced anymore because you're already tiny. Okay, I see what's going on here. Magic weapons that are sized for medium or small wielders can magically reduce their size for you to wield, but you cannot wield heavy weapons at all. So heavy weapons are not a possibility. Due to the shape and size of your body, non-magical armor costs twice the price for you, but only weighs half as much as normal. They've really thought about this way too much, but okay. At least it answers a lot of your questions. Tiny spellcasting. I think if you're going to play this, you're going to be a spellcaster. You know the light cantrip. Though you can only cast it on yourself. Okay, so you can't. So you don't really know the light cantrip quite. At 3rd level, you cast the enlarge effect of the enlarge reduce spell on yourself once per day without using any spell components. Charisma is your spellcasting stat for these spells. So really, you kind of find yourself in a situation where you're probably going to be playing a spellcaster with this one. I think that's pretty obvious. Shy folk. Okay, so dexterity, the hand-drawn picture. This is dexterity is going up by 2, wisdom by 1. Shy folk weapon training. You're proficient with daggers, slings, and long spears. Okay. Your size is small. Stealth precision. You have trained hard with each weapon, gaining a +1 to attack rolls with them. Okay. Stealthy precision. Okay, I see what's going on here. Speed is 25 feet. Language is common and shy folk. Masked bravery, you have advantage on saving throws against fear effects. Okay, you are proficient in stealth and intimidation from your masked nature. And war cry, when rolling initiative, you may expend a spell slot to gain a +1 bonus to each level of the slot. If you have no spell slots, you gain 1 level of 1 slot that recharges on a long rest. Blimey, core blimey. There's a lot going on here. Sheesh, let's keep going down here. Yoshi. So Yoshi is the dinosaur, right? You're playing a little dinosaur, essentially. Bipedal reptile. Dexterity goes up by 2. Intelligence goes up by 2. Egg toss. I'm not sure what this is all about, but anyway. Age, you are 2 years. Okay, you're adult and live to 20 or 30 years. Dark vision, of course. Draconic resistance. Choose your color from the Yoshi ancestry table. You have resistance to the energy type associated with the chosen color. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Cool. Dragon body. Your scales count as natural armor, giving a +1 bonus to your AC when not wearing armor. You cannot wear normal armor, but you can have armor made for you as barding. All right, that's interesting. Armor that magically resizes can also alter slightly to fit your shape. All right, that's fine. Egg toss. You are proficient with using eggs as a thrown weapon, so you can throw eggs. Dealing damage as shown in the egg toss table. Of course, this is the egg toss table here. And then we have the ancestry. Oh, that's the damage type that you're going to be resistant to. Wow. Okay. All right. Flutter jump. When jumping, you can add 5 feet to your normal jump distance. You must still have enough movement to complete the jump, however. Okay. Jumping in D&D 5e is a bit of a pain. You count as one size larger than determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift. Okay. Racial classification. You do not count as humanoid, but a dragon instead. Okay. You're playing a little dragon. Yep. You are medium sized, you have a speed of 40 feet, so you move very, very fast. They've got barter bullets on those feet, don't they? Tongue. You have a dexterous, sticky tongue that can also be used to make a melee weapon attack that deals no damage to the target. Really? If it hits, the target is grappled and restrained. Oh my gosh. As long as the target is grappled, you may pull it closer as part of your attack action against it. If used on a target that is at 0 hit points, the target becomes encased in an egg. Oh dear. An encased creature cannot breathe, begins suffocating immediately. Any dead creature inside the egg is treated as if it as if they are under the effect of the gentle repose spell while encased. This is a weird ability. An egg that is thrown breaks immediately after hitting the target or upon hitting a wall or floor. An egg is treated as an object with 1 hit HP and an armor class of 10 and immune to poison and psychic damage. You may have up to 6 eggs at one time. Okay, so you're an egg maker. You have Common and Yoshi as your languages. Okay, so there's some very strange stuff here. It's very, very strange. Now, I doubt that I'm going to be able to read in the next 12 minutes through all of this stuff. So, if there's something you would prefer me to look at, I will. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back and work my way to the classes. One, because I want to at least be able to show you the monsters that they have, or the creatures. So this is the Hyper Goomba. Basically, very simple stat block. The only sort of standout features that it sort of has is its recklessness. Okay, so basically you can get advantage on a melee attack rolls at the start of your turn, which is fine. Unarmed combat, the Goomba can cast a modified version of Mage Hand, as you know from the playable version, so it's got that. Vigor Up is a recharge on a short or long rest. The Goomba focuses all of its energy for powerful attacks. While reckless, the Goomba can use a bonus action to fill with vigor until the end of its next turn. While invigorated in this way, all attack rolls deal 1 extra damage of dice with the Goombas when the Goomba hits. So, yep, we get a bite and we get a jump attack, and that's really it. There's not an awful lot going on. The attack bonus is quite high, and the output for the damage is very, very low. And this is a challenge rating 5. I'm kind of perplexed why the attack bonus is so high. I don't quite understand. It's because the strength is so high, +8 modifier for strength. Is possibly that's what they're trying to do here. That I don't even think it makes much sense, frankly. For a challenge rating 5, having an attack bonus of 10 is pretty outlandish. That's quite strong. Okay, alright, let's move on. Goomba, the standard Goomba, very much the same. It just does less damage and has a smaller modifier for your attack, and it's a challenge rating half. We've got our Gloomba, which I'm assuming is not quite as happy. Our Gloomba has the same sort of features as the Goomba, but you also get a bite dagger, you got the jump attack, and you got steal, so you can steal something. Make a dexterity sleight of hand check contested by wisdom and perception check of a target creature. If successful, you can choose to steal a number of coins or one item up to 1 pound in weight. So you can steal stuff from them. So you can steal their money. And I'm sure this is related to the game, of course. Anyway, challenge rating 1. Next, Chip Chip. The Chip Chip. It's a half challenge rating. It's amphibious, so you can breathe underwater and in air. You have a swimming leap. So Chip Chip's long jump is up to 20 feet, and its high jump is 10 feet without a running start. So you don't have to do a running start, but only when jumping from the water. So if you're jumping from water, you're really good at it, and you've got a bite attack, which is, who cares? It's got a bite attack. Anyway, I think that is all of the creatures. There's some blank pages here. You see what I mean, people? There's a lot of blank pages. Okay, no, we've got some more. So we've got the Dark Boo. The Dark Boo is challenge rating 1, half undead fortitude. Okay, so if reduced to 0 hit points and not killed outright, the Boo stabilizes automatically. Okay, so that's like the racial feature if you're playing one. Half undead nature. Boos have no blood, so we've got all that. So we know they don't get affected. They're immune to disease and... Okay, next. Innate spell casting. So you get invisibility, pass without a trace. It's got the calculation for that. Cantrips, Chill Touch, Mage Hand, and Toll the Dead. Okay, and first and third level spells cause fear, Dissonant Whispers, Ethereal, Fear, Gaseous Form, Misty Step. Okay, out of sight, the boo makes itself and one other creature invisible. Okay, so you can make yourself invisible, and you have a lick attack. When I saw the lick attack, it just made me laugh. I'm going to lick you to death. Again, I would say for a challenge rating 1, why do we have an attack bonus of +7? It's quite high. Its damage output for a level 1 creature, I can kind of live with. It's a 12 and a 10, but I don't understand why the attack bonus is so high. What makes that happen? Because its dexterity is so high. It's got a +5 modifier. I suppose that... yeah, I suppose, yeah. Okay. I guess the calculation makes sense. I just don't know why their dexterity is so high. Anyway. Next one, boos. Boos are very similar to the last one. Just look, the dark boo and this boo's pretty much the same. It's just there's no lick attack. Okay? A dark boo, superior in every way because it gets to lick you to death, whereas a normal boo does not get to lick you to death. It's just going to slam you. Not nearly as fun. Next, moving on. That's the creatures. So this, I'm going to just go to the front section of this because this is a bunch of spells. And I probably will go through the spells. So we've got Fire Flower. First level, 1 action, cast it on yourself. And flames briefly envelope the caster, colouring their outfit the colours of an open flame. While the spell is active, you have resistance to fire damage. And can use your action to cast the Firebolt cantrip. So you are now a fire thing. Cool. You're a fire thing. Frog Suit. I got to read this one. Got to read this one out. So it's casting time of 1. Spell level is 2. Cast it on yourself, and its concentration for an hour. A gout of water briefly envelopes the caster, covering their clothing with the illusionary likeness of a frog. While the spell is active, you have a swim speed equal to double your movement speed and can breathe both water and air. Your standing jump height is increased by half of your normal jump height. For example, if you can normally jump 10 feet up, you can now jump 15 feet instead. But your normal movement speed is halved, okay, while on land and not grappled due to moving in short hops. Okay, so you're a hopper. You've become a hopper. The Hammer Suit. Let's have a look at the Hammer Suit. Second level spell. An action to cast. Concentration up to an hour. A flurry of hammers briefly envelopes the caster, covering their outfit with the uniform of the Hammer Brothers. Okay. While the spell is active, you can use your reaction when taking damage to cover yourself with the shell, providing resistance to the triggering damage. You also gain the use of an illusionary throwing hammer that uses either strength or wisdom, your choice, for the attack and damage modifiers. This weapon counts as magical for the purposes of overcoming damage resistance and materializes in your hand as part of each attack with this weapon. Okay. Lovely. Next. I'm going to lose my voice right now. I can see it now. Ice Flower. Third level spell. An action. Cast it on yourself. Concentration up to an hour. Snowflakes briefly envelope the caster, covering their outfit the colors of the snowstorm. While the spell is active, you have resistance to cold damage and can use your action to cast the Ray of Frost cantrip. On a critical hit, your Ray of Frost freezes the target in place, encasing them in ice until the end of your next turn. Oh my gosh. An encased creature cannot move or take any actions, bonus actions, or reactions except those which would make it incorporeal, cannot cast any spells, and cannot escape unless it is capable of incorporeal movement. Oh my gosh, they are kind of buggered. Alright, for one turn. That's pretty strong. Okay, let's have a look at what else we've got here. Jugum's Cloud, third level spell, an action, concentration up to an hour. There's a lot of concentration spells here. A piece of cotton grows to the size, the target size, and the target steps in. While inside the cloud, the rider is fully obscured from anyone below, and has the fly speed of 30 feet. If the rider disembarks and doesn't return within 2 rounds, the cloud dissipates, ending the spell. You are now flying around in a cloud. Well done. Okay. Kerbo's Shoe, which is a 5th level spell, an action, cast it on itself, and it's concentration for a minute. This has got to be pretty strong, right? A small shoe grows to the target size, and the target steps in. While inside the shoe, the rider is immune to piercing damage, and their standing and jumping and running jump distance is increased by half. For example, if you can normally jump 20 feet, you can now jump 30 feet instead. Okay. In addition, any melee attack roll the creature takes becomes a what? In addition, any melee attack roll the creature makes becomes a critical hit if the roll is 1 point lower than usual. For example, if the attack would crit on a roll of a 19 or 20, it now crits on 18 to 20. Blimey. Okay, but is that a level 5 spell? I don't know. I'm not really that convinced. Well, there are a few other things here. I would highly recommend that people go and check this out. So I've gone through a bunch of these already. These here are the various feats. My general feeling is that they are designed for Super Mario World, but there's nothing super special there or super overpowered in many respects, I find. And if they do seem very powerful, they've got a lot of prerequisites. And then we get into various equipment. So as I said, there's a complete armor section for this here. It completes loadout for weapons. And even if that wasn't enough for you, you should have a complete loadout for equipment as well. So it's actually not too bad in terms of covering the stuff that you needed. It's there. Like, they've done a reasonable job. There's your equipment there. Things that would be related to Super Mario. And then, let me go here. So now we get into the class stuff, the Arcane Tradition. This is the Mage. I found that the classes and the subclasses are kind of mixed in amongst each other, so you have to sort of separate them. They're not sort of, they aren't in different sections. They are kind of together, so you just got to go through it and find them. There's no artwork for this section, okay, but there are a lot of archetypes, and there are 2 classes that are provided, and they give you pretty much all the stuff that you would need. I haven't really closely looked at any of them, really, because I didn't have time, really. But yeah, look, there's plenty of options, plenty of things for you to go and have a check out and see what you think. And it's free, so it's no skin off your nose if you don't like it. Like you just move on if you don't think it's worth your time. So yes, I thought I would at least share this with people. And since there has been a Super Mario Brother movie that did very well, I thought maybe people would be interested in this. And if you're not, you're not. It's all cool. Now, my phone has not been keeping up with me, so apparently... No, my phone has been keeping up with me. There we go. Okay, my phone has been keeping up with me. Anyway, I think this is a good time for me to end. I am going to be live very, very shortly in about an hour, playing a game of Morkbork or Merkborky or Merkborkik. I don't know, what do you call it? I don't know. You tell me. All I know is someone is going to die because there's more than a few of us who have 1 hit point, and it's just going to happen. We've just been hugely lucky so far that nobody has died miserably. And then, of course, if somebody dies, they're going to come back into play with another character. So if you want to come and join me and see blood and guts and people dying in a role-playing game, Doom Metal Dungeons and Dragons or Doom Metal RPG, come and join us, because that's where I will be. I will end this poll. And interesting to see, do you like Super Mario Brothers? Yes, 58%. Undecided, 25%. No, 8%. Well, that 8% must have left by now. Just watching, 8%. 12 votes. Okay. Well, I think that's it for me tonight. Today, you will see me on somebody else's channel in about an hour's time. So thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon for making sure to keep this going. This program will continue. There are many, many more free fan-made supplements that are 5e compatible out there, and I'm going to go over more of them in the future. Don't you worry, there's going to be more. So look, thank you for taking part in the poll, listening and watching. For those of you who have been in chat and commenting, Fred Hubber, DC Comics fan, Byron Lee, and I believe we had Nacho Man here as well, and Shiner81. Hey, thank you for hanging out with me and commenting. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.